have you ever wondered what would happen if the Red Hood from DC Comics and Rogue from Marvel Comics were made into one character and put into City of Heroes? I'm Controlled Chaos. In this video, we're going to go over just that. Let's go ahead and get started. So, first off, we're going to go ahead and go over character creation. You're going to go mutation because the Red Hood is purely just normal. Rogue has some mutations, so we want to go with the rogue values. For the playstyle, you want ranged. For the whole entire thing of archetype, either Blaster or Sentinel. If you go the Blaster route, you're going to want to go ahead and go dual pistols. And you're going to want to go electric manipulation for the pure simple fact of it drains endurance from the enemy. It drains the energy from their enemies. And that's exactly what Rogue does. If you want that energy drain capability. However, if you want a bit of the tankish feel that Rogue has, you're going to go Sentinel, dual pistols, which let me actually choose pistols, and then you're going to go in vulnerability and go that direction. Now, when creating the actual character, you want to keep it about mid-height, a little bit below 6 feet, maybe at 6 feet if you're going male. If you're going female, which I'm going to do, you're going to want to go ahead and go with just under 6 feet. I'm going to keep it natural. With the costume choices, we want the colors to be yellow. We want red. Probably a darker red. And then we're going to go to the head. There's two choices for the heads that you have that you can do. You can either do hoods, and you're going to keep it with this type of hood, and then you're going to change the face to a couple different choices. The choices that you have that you can do is you can do bonehead here, which, yeah, I know it has the nose part, which the red hood doesn't have a bone helm, but, you know, or a bone nose to it. If you don't like that part, you can go over and go down to, where is it? Full mask. You can do full mask also. And those are your two choices. Or if you want without the hood, you can just go ahead and do full helm. And we want to go down here. And we want to go with the Tech Knight armor. And you want to take the secondary and turn it to the primary for this one. But actually, I forgot to switch off the all colors being the same. So I'm going to switch that to yellow. So it's yellow all across the board. Yes, I know Red Hood has a red helm, but we're doing a mix of Red Hood and Rogue. And Red Hood's colors are red and black, and Rogue's is yellow and green. We want to find a good combination. You could go black, green, or red, yellow. I'm going red, yellow, but we're going to leave the head alone. Now we're going to go here. We're going to switch from tights, and we're going to go with jackets. And we're going to go to the jacket. I'll find what looks like a biker jacket. This is perfect. We're going to go with biker. We're going to change the color of this to be sort of like a tannish color. Maybe lighter. Thing. Yeah, we're going to go with this color right here. This looks like a good color for that. And we'll go sleeves. Find the biker one for these. Change the color to the same thing. So we have that look there. Then for the chest, we're going to go tights for the chest. I'm going to choose one here. Changes things up. We're going with that. We're going with the Fat Stripes 2. You could do Fat Stripes 1 doesn't work, but Fat Stripes 2 works. So you're going to go fat stripes 2. You're going to do nothing for the shoulders. Chest detail, nothing. For the gloves, you can go with these gloves right here, or you can go with the smooth. Keep them leather, and I would change them in color to red. And go that direction. That, or you can actually keep them yellow. Either will work. And then for a belt, I'm going to find an interesting belt here. Okay, I like this gunslinger one. Flip the colors. We'll make that red. Center gold. So, then we're going to go lower body. Still keeping with the tights. We want to find the fat stripes again. Like so. This gives it so that rogue look to it. Because rogue, the center is the yellow and the outsides is the green. And then she has the golden gloves, which is why I did the gloves in the gold. For the boots, because we're doing this in the style of rogue, we want to do these over the thigh boots and go that direction. And this gives us the look of that. Weapon wise, we're going to keep these by default regular looking guns. So we want to have the primary color be a gray and the secondary color be a black. We're going to flip this, do the same thing again. It looks good there. And then we're going to take this one there, and there's your guns. Just keep them regular pistols because that's what the Red Hood uses, is regular pistols. So we're all good and solid in the look. It's very simple. It's very easy. I'll be right back once we actually get into gameplay, and we're going to talk about gameplay and how it feels. Okay, now when leveling up the character, you want to focus to make sure that your attacks are a little bit more leaned towards accuracy than damage, because Red Hood was a really good shot with his pistols. And that's a very important fact. I also recommend that you do the Sentinel build, not the Blaster build. And the reason being is in the Sentinel build, when you get the epic pool powers, you can take electric manipulation, which will give you the some electric melee attacks, which will add that energy drain that we were talking about earlier when creating the character. And it really adds to the more of a rogue type feel to it, which is nice. And as I was playing this character, there is some endurance drain issues. You're gonna have to rest some. You're gonna have to use some endurance inspirations and things like that. But it works really, really well. It's very fun to play. I, of course, took flight as the travel power because Rogue can fly. It's a no-brainer, but all the abilities were really good to use, especially when you use that first electrical attack. It has a knockback chance, which adds more to the feel of Rogue being strong. You're hitting them and knocking them back a good distance, and it feels great and fun. When you're dealing with the invulnerability part of it, make sure that the toggles are fully stacked with 3 endurance reductions. It's a must. And make sure that your stamina has 3 of the endurance modifiers. And then also in your health, put 3 of the health. It works out really great that way. But the attacks give the mix, and the defense gives that mixed feel of Red Hood and Rogue put together, along with the look of the costume. The costume doesn't look like Rogue. The costume doesn't look like Red Hood. So you're good there. Just don't use the name Rogue or Red Hood. I named mine what was it? Golden Rogue because of the gold helm. But you could name it Golden Hood, just play on words that way, and you're perfectly fine making this kind of character on any of the City of Heroes servers. You don't want to do a blank copy of a character, which is why we're mixing up some of the colors like we did from each of the characters. We're mixing up the looks like we did. The jacket was a no-brainer because both Rogue and Red Hood wear a jacket. And so that was a really good feel. If I would have gone the male direction with this build, instead of because you wouldn't have the option of the thigh high boots, I would have gone with the work boots and will put them in a brown color or the same color that the jacket was, or maybe even black for the boots, and gone that way with the feel of it. But overall, this character never really dropped below half health. Never. And that was fun. And I was fighting whites, yellows, and some oranges in there and had no problems whatsoever. I did struggle a bit between fights that I had to rest up because of endurance. I never fully depleted my endurance because I didn't keep sprint on. I didn't keep flight on. I used flight to get around a little bit quicker. That was about it. So if I needed to backtrack, I'd throw flight on and I'd backtrack and get myself back to where I need to go to check out other areas in the mission or to get to missions and things like that. And it fits perfectly. The character looks cool. The character looks unique. The character has a great feel. And Sentinels really aren't played that much because a lot of players think that they're sort of weak because they're not as tanky as tanks, but they're not as strong hitting as blasters. And the thing is Sentinels aren't meant to be as strong hitting as blasters. They're not meant to be as tough as a scrapper. They're meant to be about as tough or as tough as a tank. They're meant to be about as tough as a scrapper, and they're supposed to be really good damage but not able to out damage a blaster, because your blaster is literally your glass cannon. In fantasy like D&D type stuff, it'd be considered a wizard. And so that's really important there. I really had fun with this build and creating and coming up with this concept and mixing them up. I originally chose Red Hood because in DC Comics, Red Hood is my favorite of them all. And in Marvel, I was having trouble picking one, so I actually reached out to Zavi and asked Zavi, was your favorite Marvel hero? And they came back with saying Rogue. So I took Rogue, mixed them with Red Hood. If you have any other ideas of blending of two characters from two different comic book franchises, comment down below, let me know. I'd be happy to do a video on it. Also, I want to let you guys know that as of the date of this video coming out, you have a day and a half before the Cyber Monday sale on Gaming Imagery, which is my merch store, is over, and it's 30% off your complete order. So if you have friends, family members, or even yourself that you want to get gamer style merch, check out the store. You find something that you think they might like, get it. There's mouse pads, hoods, or hoodies, different types of mugs and stuff like that. There's t-shirts, there's bags, and a bunch of different options in there. Some of them are Sea Hero inspired, some of them are No Man's Sky inspired, and some of them are just funny little quips from being a gamer. I want to thank you for watching this video and have a great day.